Another place in the world where women and girls still face obstacles every day is Kenya. Canadian Lori Williams first saw that for herself 25 years ago. But what she also saw was potential. Since then, she's helped a few thousand girls get sponsored for schooling they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. And it all began with the inspiration from one bright young girl. Here now is the CBC's Erica Johnson with Educating Margaret.
It's a long way home to a tiny village in western Kenya. A trip made longer by anticipation. Margaret Maywaka can hardly wait to see an old friend.
This is our hometown. This is where I grew up, actually.
It's a long way from Nairobi.
Yes, it is. It's like another country, actually.
Margaret's about to meet a Canadian she says changed her life.
There they are.
A woman she first met as a young girl. Lori Williams.
Welcome home!
How are you? Fine. And I brought my niece.
I've heard so much about you.
Thank you. Welcome home. This is my mother's home.
Okay.
Welcome.
It's a reunion Margaret won't soon forget.
It's been a long time. It's been 20 years since I've seen you.
The friendship between these two goes a long way back. Margaret was just 14.
Any questions the council has, I can try and answer them at this time.
These days, Lori Williams is a city councillor in New Westminster, just outside Vancouver.
Lots seem to be a varied size.
But in the early 80s, she was a teacher and headed off to Kenya.
I came to Kenya actually first just for fun and adventure. I had read an article that somebody had written about running a school here in Africa and needed some help, so I thought, well, I'll take leave and go over. I had no idea what I was going to. I didn't know much about Africa at all, I must say.
Lori was in for a shock. Like today, Kenya 25 years ago was struggling. Unemployment was high, more than 50%. She'd never seen such poverty. And unlike Canada, most kids couldn't afford to go to high school. Fees were the equivalent of about 350 Canadian dollars. That's a year's salary for most Kenyans. Hardest of all, when students couldn't pay their school fees, it fell on Lori to kick them out.
I would have to go in and say, excuse me, you owe 500 shillings, take your books, go home, get some small money to come back, because this was the money that was used to pay the teachers. We couldn't run the school without it, and yet you can imagine how much I liked that job.
And Lori noticed something disturbing. When families could scrape together fees, they tended to send their boys. Even today, says Lori, girls aren't seen to have much value.
They get to eat last. They get to work while the boys play. They get, right from the time that they can toddle, there's a lesser feeling about women. If you're young, female, rural, poor, and uneducated, you can't go any lower than that.
Lori's talking about girls like Sylvia Otunga. She's 16, the youngest of 6 children. Her brothers don't do household chores, so Sylvia starts her day early.
When I wake up, I fetch water, clean the house, wash dishes, cook lunch, and wash clothes.
So most of your day is spent doing chores?
Yes.
Sylvia longs to go to high school, but her family just can't afford it.
I went there for 3 weeks and came back.
Why did you come back?
School fees. My parents were unable to pay it.
And Sylvia is like so many girls in this country. They can't get more than a grade 7 education. Primary school's free, but not high school. The government's promised to start paying high school tuition one day, but that's just a small part of the cost.
Do you think your family could find the money for your uniform, your textbooks, your boarding costs?
No. Because they work per day and they are given even 30 shillings. And 30 shillings is not enough for our food.
This is where we all grew up.
All of you in one hut?
Yeah, 6 girls with my mother, so that makes 7.
A 10 by 10 foot.
Yeah.
Margaret Maywaka grew up poor too. But at age 13, her life shifted in just one moment. She saw something she thought was extraordinary. A woman driving a car.
It was like, wow, I've never seen this before. I thought this must be a learned woman. And I wanted to find out, how did this woman go to school? You know, where did she get the money? This has made her, you know, so powerful. I also want to get this power. Yeah.
But high school was out of reach. After her father died, Margaret's mother had to support 12 children on her own.
She asked me where I thought she would get money from to take me to school, because it was even hard for her to put any food before us to eat, leave alone a girl's education.
Margaret had gone to primary school and aced every class. But it wasn't easy. At times, it was even dangerous, making her way along isolated paths.
Even men on the way would want to, you know, kidnap me, and, you know, they would threaten even to rape me. So occasionally it would take my mother to take me early in the morning to escort me through the tiny roads and leave me on the main road.
You know what, you think to yourself, if that happened in Canada, that wouldn't be headline news, you know, and we'd hunt them down. But here it's just not treated. It's a serious crime, but it's not treated seriously, if you know what I mean.
And why is that?
Status of women, too low.
Still, Margaret desperately wanted an education. She managed to cobble together enough money for a few weeks of high school, but it ran out, and Laurie had to kick her out of class.
I went to the headmaster and said, I cannot chase Margaret out. She's the brightest girl in school. She gets great marks in English, math, everything. And he said, if you care that much, he said, you pay for her. And I thought, all right, I will.
So Laurie paid Margaret's school fees and hatched a plan to pay for more girls to go to school. She set up a charity so Canadians could sponsor Kenyan girls and called it CHESS, the Canadian Harambee Education Society. Harambee is Swahili for pulling together.
So how was your trip from Canada?
Back at Margaret's homestead, her family puts on a feast for the guest of honor.
Have you had ugali before? Never.
First
Wow.
time.
A little ugali for you?
Audio Mano.
Karibu.
Margaret is clearly thankful Laurie's made this visit.
This is the lady who transformed my life.
A huge compliment, but also accurate. Thanks to Laurie, Margaret's traded life on her homestead for life hundreds of kilometers away, working in one of Nairobi's largest hospitals. In high school, Margaret had more than financial support. Laurie believed in her, pushed her to do well. And she did. So well, her marks won her a scholarship to university. There, Margaret, the first girl in her village to ever go beyond grade 7, got a degree in nursing with honors.
Did you ever think growing up that you would become a nurse?
No, not at all, because nobody in my village was becoming anything.
And if she's well respected here, Back in her village, she's a huge success story.
3.25. They don't even call me a nurse, they call me a doctor. Because to them, the word nurse doesn't really exist. Anybody who works in a hospital is a doctor. So every time I go home, it's like, hey, the doctor has come. You'll find so many people coming from very far to just come and see the doctor.
With the salary she earns as a nurse, Margaret rents this apartment with her daughter and son.
This is a camel found in northeastern province of Kenya, isn't it?
Margaret's divorced and only has 2 children. That's unusual. The average Kenyan family has 6 kids.
Does a bat have eyes?
No.
Margaret credits her education for teaching her about birth control.
It gives me a sense of power, a sense of choice.
Margaret's sister and 2 cousins also share this 1-bedroom apartment.
You can't jump me. I'm jumping him. It's you. So it's now you.
All told, Margaret's salary supports 11 people.
Play cards. That is my mother, who is up country, my niece, who stays with her, my 2 nephews. It is me who pays the rent. And I also provide for their daily upkeep. Food, soap, everything.
That's a big responsibility.
Yes, it is. But I enjoy doing it because I appreciate that I have a job. Very few people who have those permanent jobs, especially women. Men will always get their way out, but women, it's hard. Yeah.
Unemployment in Kenya has worsened in the past 25 years. Now, over 70% of people can't find a job. They live in abject poverty. Working in a market like this earns you less than about $1 Canadian a day. And women are in a particular bind. They aren't allowed to own property, so they often marry for survival. Polygamy is legal here. When Margaret's husband started marrying more women, she left him. Something she could do, she says, thanks to the education her Canadian friend paid for.
I have my work, and with the little money I have, I can be able to earn my own living. Yeah.
Years ago, Laurie Williams knew education would be the only way to help girls here overcome the disadvantages of being born female. She didn't know her program would become so successful, Canadians would sponsor girls in virtually every high school in the region.
We all have our dreams, and there's only one way we can make those dreams come true. And the way we do now, what we do now in life, will determine what will be in future.
Like this class, it's peppered with girls sponsored through Laurie's program.
The beginning is here.
Today's subject, how to build self-esteem, confidence.
But you know, when you're not empowered and you really don't know what to do in a situation, you can give in. So that is what we want to teach ourselves today.
In a culture where girls have so little power, it's hoped classes like this will give them skills they desperately need.
You have to be confident about yourself. You have to mean whatever you are saying. When you are saying no, it has to be no. And just give us an example. Wow, good. Clap for her. That is a sign of saying no.
But it's not your typical day at this school. It's holding a special assembly. There are hundreds of students from other high schools. Every girl is sponsored by a Canadian through Laurie's charity, and she's here for a pep talk.
Mirembe. Mirembe. Mirembe no. Thank you. I would like to say greetings to all of you.
Thanks to Laurie's program, some 3,000 girls have graduated from high school over the years.
I want to recognize somebody very, very important in my life.
And this is the first time Laurie's introduced the person who started it all.
The very first girl ever sponsored by chess.
As I stand here, I am a registered nurse. I work at the Kenyatta National Hospital. So girls, you can make it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. You have what it takes. You have the brains. And somebody is sacrificing their money to make you a better person.
Now I have in this package the image of the most favored chess girl.
Lori plays a game with the girls to boost their confidence.
The most favored chess girl. Who is it, Sandra? Who is it?
Sandra.
Who is it, Victorian?
Victoria.
Do you all understand who we want to be the leaders of Kenya? Is it you, Gaudencia? Oh, by golly, it's Gaudencia.
And Lori uses one more tool, a book about a famous Kenyan woman who beat all odds to become a Nobel Peace Prize winner.
This is your one chance to make it. You have been chosen, you're special, and we want you desperately to succeed.
The assembly's not done before several songs, all thanking Lori Williams for the program she started 25 years ago. And in the audience, a young girl who says more about the success of Lori's program than an assembly could ever do. This is Margaret's daughter. She's following in her mother's footsteps in high school, sponsored by Lori Williams. And her name is also Lori.
To me, I attribute my life, my entire life, to Lori Williams. That is why when I got my firstborn, I just said she's a girl. Have to always remember this great woman.
And like her mother, Lori has big goals. In a country where it's almost unheard of for a woman, she wants to become a lawyer.
Many people believe that girls should not get education because they are not bright, they are not clever, such things.
But you think girls should get education?
I do. I think every girl is entitled to education. Every girl, that is a right for every child, and all children are equal.
And where did you get that belief from?
My mother, yeah.
It's just what Lori Williams hoped for way back when, that girls sponsored by Canadians would grow into role models for their children.
If the mother's selling maize, chances are the daughter will sell maize, But if we take the child and give it an education, I believe that their children will benefit.
This friendship that started so long ago has only strengthened over the years.
She kept telling me, Margaret, you can make it. Margaret, you can make it.
You know what you expect out of people, quite often you do get it.
And Margaret's not done yet. She's set her sights on a PhD in nursing because her Canadian friend believes anything is possible.
Somebody has to believe in you to make it.
Erica Johnson, CBC News, Kakamega, Kenya.